Roy back again. Well, I have another computer video for you guys. I went to the thrift store today because a day or two after Christmas they really didn't have anything, but I knew that it was eventually coming because, let's face it, people get new things for Christmas and they always have to do something with the old. And sure enough, when I went in today, this was sitting right in the electronics section. I wasn't even sure what it was at first because if you look at this from the front, unless you see the DVD burner in here, this almost looks like a base tube or something to that effect. But when I looked closer and I saw there was a DVD burner there, I realized, hey, this is actually a computer. Well, I paid $14.98 for this. And I really was not sure at all what it had, because of course I had no screwdriver to take the cover off there. Only thing I knew was that it was a socket 775, because I could see that through the vent hole here. And you can kind of see it there, just like that. I have removed the case, the actual cover, just to save some time. I figured what we would do is go ahead and take some of the parts out and see exactly what's in here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the memory because that's going to be the easiest to get out. And it looks like both sticks are the same, and they are, so I'm just going to take one out and we'll see what this actually is. Wow. This is a 4 GB stick of PC3 1066 or DDR3 RAM. Never really heard of that brand, GEIL. I'm just going to take the other stick out too to make sure that's exactly what it is. They both look the same. Yeah, that sure is. So this system has a total of 8 gigs of RAM in it. Not bad. So that alone was worth the 14 bucks I paid for it. So I'm happy so far. I know it has a DVD burner. I'm not sure what kind. It looks maybe like a Samsung. It does not have the hard drive. The hard drive I think was originally sitting over here, or it was underneath here. I can't really tell from this point, but it is missing the hard drive. But it does have some type of ATI card in here, which is not even screwed in. It was just loose like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and let's see what this is. It does have HDMI, VGA, and DVI, so I know it must be a half-decent card. And there we go. It is a Radeon HD 6570. Now that's interesting because I'd already assumed that was a better card than I have in my HP quad core. And it is, because what's in here is an Radeon HD 5450. So I now know what I'm going to do. This card here is going to go into this system. This system here actually doesn't even need a video card because it has one built onto the motherboard. My plans with this computer, I have a friend that's going to be in need of a basic system to do internet, maybe watch some YouTube videos and do some word processing. So I think I'm going to rebuild this system for her. And it should be just fine. The 8 gigs of RAM are actually going to go into my home theater PC, which is over there. I'm going to take the 4 gigs out of there and put that in here because they're both DDR3. So essentially this is going to have 4 gigs of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, because that's actually what I have in there. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. This is just going to be a nice basic system for her. So I'm going to go ahead and swap out the video cards, and I'll be right back. Alright, let's go ahead and take the side cover of this case off. Now I'll show you something very interesting. The video card on this system is actually a low profile card. I don't think I ever showed anybody that before. And of course, being the frugal person that I am, I didn't want to get the full-size bracket. So what I actually did is I put this in here, and then I just put a little bit of super glue on the edge. And that's, for the most part, has kept it in place over the years. But now I'm not even going to have to worry about that. So in this computer, it's very easy to actually replace a video card. You just pull this tab up and forward. And this I'm going to probably have to have a little bit of pressure on. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this on camera. Go from the front and the back. And as you can see, it pops out nicely. it took the other blank with it, but I'm not too worried about that. Go ahead and put that back in place. This case is fairly easy to work on, but with my clumsy hands it always takes me a minute. Alright, now that I have the blanks all back into place, I'm going to go ahead and put the new video card in. Again, remember, whenever you're putting an expansion card in, you want to make sure that everything lines up properly at first, which is not the easiest thing in this case because I don't have a lot of light, but we'll make it work. And once everything is lined up, you want to give even pressure on both sides of the video card. See, I don't know if you guys can see, both of my thumbs are here. You want to just do a shaking motion until it slides in. Now in this case, I still have a little bit of a gap here, but that's okay. A gap right there, because once I put this in, and again I'm going to need two hands to do this. Once I slide this back in place, come on. It should sit just fine. And you can see the card's in there. It's a little bit loose with this case design, but that's okay. That's just by design. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not going to go anywhere. So my quad-core HP has now been upgraded from an ATI Radeon 5450 to a Radeon 6570. And that's it for this one. We'll go ahead and boot this up and see and make sure everything's working. Alright, now that the computer's hooked back up, let's go ahead and give her a try, see if this video card actually works. Well, so far so good. And because the card I took out of this was the ATI Radeon 5450, and I actually have the Catalyst software already installed, I don't think I'll actually have to do anything with the drivers. It should install this card automatically. So we'll go ahead and check it out. Looks like I didn't shut Windows down properly the last time. Shame on me. Not sure what'll actually happen. Let's try, and I might actually have to do a hard reboot because, of course, it's trying to restart Windows with the same settings it had before. It won't work because this is a different card. Alright, I did a hard reboot, and it looks like everything's coming up okay now. We'll see if it'll actually automatically install the video card drivers. Like I said, I think it will. It's trying. You can see the hard drive's really racking itself right now. I actually haven't had this computer booted up for a few weeks, so I'm sure all my antivirus programs need to be updated. Probably getting some Windows updates too. Alright, you can see it is trying to install something. Right now it's just an unidentified device. That NetVista keyboard is this IBM one right here. Alright, and as you guys can see, it absolutely did find the Radeon HD 6500 series card, just like I thought it would. So now, I'm just going to have to go ahead and restart this computer, and we'll run a Windows Experience test on it. Alright, the computer has now rebooted. I'm going to go in and check and make sure that we have the right video card. Looks like we do. Yep, ATI Radeon HD 6500 series. If you can see, there's actually a 4 gigabyte card. It's 1 gigabyte memory, and then it shares another 3 with the system. So I'm going to go ahead and run a Windows Experience. We'll get a baseline before. The previous card for the gaming graphics got a 5.0, I'm sorry, the 6.1, and the Aero got a 5.0. So let's go ahead and run the assessment and see if we improved. Alright, and as you can see, our gaming graphics are now a 5.7 on the Aero and a 6.6 for the gaming graphics. So all in all, not too bad. I think it might get a little bit better if I update the video drivers, which I'm going to go ahead and do right now. And while that's working, I'm going to go ahead and show you my home theater PC. As you guys might remember from way back, this is my home theater PC, which, to be honest with you, doesn't really get a heck of a lot of use. Started life as one of those cheap Dell Inspirons, but I actually did an upgrade. I put in a new motherboard, cooler, and I put a higher-end video card. This is the ATI Radeon 6670. What I actually did is the RAM that I took out of this system, I put in here because this had only had 4 gigabytes originally. Now it actually has 8. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this up, and we'll see if this RAM is good as well. So if that works out, that'll be really nice. That means I'll have a nice video card upgrade for my quad-core HP, and I'll have double the RAM on my home theater PC. So let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, now that I have the computer hooked up, and this one's, of course, my home theater PC, so it's hooked up to my 40-inch Insignia TV, LCD. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Looks like we have a problem. Either this RAM is incompatible, or it's not installed properly, which is... I made sure it was, so I have a hunch we may have some bad memory. Take one. Alright, I figured out what the problem is. Apparently this motherboard, which is a Intel, you can see it there, DG43RK, I looked it up online. This motherboard can only handle a total of 8 gigabytes of RAM. So the problem was, I was trying to put 2 4 gigabyte sticks in there, whereas this one can only handle a max of 2 gigabytes per slot. So, what I've actually done instead is I took those 2 sticks of RAM that I was going to put in there, and I put them in my quad-core HP, because this system can actually handle up to 16 gigabytes. So as you can see right there, it's showing me 8 gigabytes of DDR3 running at 1333 megahertz. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and boot this system up. And this doesn't really matter because they'll both still have 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's just that that one needs to have what I had in this computer, which is 4 sticks of 2 gigabytes each of DDR3. One stick is Samsung running at 1066. And I think they're actually both running at 1066. The 2 of them are the Samsung sticks. And the 2 top ones and the 2 bottom ones are these Elpida, which I've never heard of the brand before, but you know, they've always worked well in here. I think that's the one that actually came with it, because you can see there it says HP on there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those in the home theater system, and we'll see if we can get them both up to 8 gigabytes. Alright, I have all 4 sticks in there. Now we're going to go ahead and put this case back together and give it a go. That's good. No extraneous beeps. Let's see if something comes up on the screen here. Not getting anything on the screen. Let me see if the HDMI cable is... And success! It was just a loose HDMI cable, and I just reseated it. And this came up here, which basically means that it must have been doing updates the last time I shut it down. So I'll go ahead and let this go through, and we'll make sure Windows sees the full 8 gigabytes of RAM. Alright, the computer's booted up, and as you can see, it is showing the full 8 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm actually really happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the experience index, but I really don't think I'm going to get too much of an upgrade. Maybe slightly faster. We'll see. It's running, it was at a 6.2 for the memory before, and let's see what this RAM does. Wow! 6.2 to a 6.9. I'm actually really impressed. The RAM that was in here before was PC3, I think it was 8600, and this is PC3 1066, so I guess there is quite a bit of difference in those 2 speeds. You can see right there, 6.9. So this one is done. I still have the really nice Radeon 6670 video card in there, coupled with the 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is now going to be an even more awesome home theater PC. Alright, I think I'm going to end this video before it gets too long. I did update the Catalyst software on here, but it really didn't change this too much. The gaming graphics is a 5.7. I'm sorry, the Aero is a 5.7, and the gaming graphics is still a 6.6. As you can see, the last update for this video card driver was 11/20 of this year. The one that actually installed, Windows installed, was from 2011, so that definitely needed to be upgraded. And now I also have the latest version of the Catalyst software running on here. So all in all, a really nice upgrade. So from that $15 thrift store computer, I have an ATI Radeon HD 6570 card for this, and upgraded RAM for this in the other computer. So 2 nice upgrades for a $15 computer, and I get to rebuild that computer as well. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna sell that to a friend of mine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, have a blessed day, everybody.